Grandma's breakfast.
I'm now.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Grandma's Breakfast. This is episode, I don't know what episode this is, like maybe something, I don't know, 10 or so. Today we have a awesome guest, Janelle. Do you go by Janelle still, or do you just go by Nelly because your Instagram says Nelly?
I usually go by either, Nelly or Janelle. Yeah, I think it's easier for people to remember Nelly, so I just say Nelly.
Hell yeah. I think of the gangster.
It's a cool name.
Rapper. No.
Yeah,
rapper, yeah. Everybody says that. Everybody, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
There's a rapper named Nelly?
Dude, you don't know who Nelly is?
No, I totally do. I'm just being stupid.
I'm going down. Oh. Well, anyway, so Nelly is an awesome artist, guys. She's you do a little bit of everything, right? You draw, you paint, and now you're getting into the tattoos too lately, right?
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Sick. Oh yeah.
Dude.
So yeah, she's an awesome artist, and yeah, so like and so you haven't met Mijel yet too, by the way. Mijel, this is homie Mijel. This is Ivan's cousin.
Hey, nice to meet you.
As you can see,
Nice to meet you.
He's waking
up. For those of you guys that are watching this on YouTube, you guys could tell that she's got like some sick ass tattoos.
Yeah, some sick ink.
Yes, that's like fucking awesome.
Super close to my computer.
I'm pretty sure you get this question a lot, but which one would you say it hurts the most? Like which area?
I would probably say I got my stomach and my ribs tattooed, and that has to be the worst because I have the side of my head, but that didn't even hurt.
Damn, dog.
But the ribs, for sure, the ribs in the stomach area, they are the worst. So far, I don't have really like other places that they say are difficult, like your knees or your leg, your top of your feet, stuff like that. I'm leaving that till the end. But so far, the worst is the ribs and the stomach, for sure.
I've heard that about the ribs being like the most painful.
Fucking worst.
Is there something about that neck spiral there? Like, does it have to do with like a void or something? It looks pretty dope.
I went for the geometric feel. That one right here.
Like that sacred geo. Oh damn, dude.
That's
yeah.
Amazing. That's
does that have to do with like chakra shit?
Yeah.
I
like
figured.
your throat chakra. Yeah.
That's the throat chakra.
And that are those like what is that? I'm like studying you.
What's on your right arm?
Yeah, that's what I was like trying to look at. Like
my right arm is just a bunch of like geometric like bands. I really love music, so.
Oh, you're a Blink-182 fan?
Geometric form.
That's sick.
Yeah.
You're a Blink-182 fan?
And then I just got this one recently. Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Okay. Just gonna leave it at that?
No, I said, are you a Blink-182 fan?
Yeah, I said yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So not only do you make art, but you're also a working piece of art, right? Do you consider yourself that?
I've been told that yeah, because like I have like a lot of my legs and probably like I would say maybe like 50%, but yeah, I've gotten that. I never thought of myself that way, but until it was pointed out, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. For sure.
Dude, what got you into like even doing art, to be honest?
Ever since I was a kid, I just really enjoyed it. My dad was he still is a very creative person. So he just kind of, he would draw and he's just very like a handsy person. Mm-hmm. So so I just grasped that from him. And then from there, I just, I love cartoons. I grew up with like animation and I think as I grew older, like music, you see all these tattooed guys and just album covers at the time, they meant like there was some dope artwork out there, and I just kept gravitating towards that. And then I went to high school and then took some art classes. I really enjoyed it, and it's just from there, it's just been a journey for me.
Can I tell you a story
Sure.
of my relationship with art? So like
yeah, sure.
I'm like mostly a musician. I'm also an animation fan. We could like get into that later because that's cool. Like I
Yeah,
really love it.
yeah,
Um,
me too.
when I was like in my early 20s, like all my friends were artists. Like all my friends like were in a creative circle. Like most of them were either musicians or they were like drawing artists. And the thing was about it is that I didn't like their art. Like I never liked any of their art because I was like, dude, this fucking sucks. Like, not to. I was like, I was kind of a dick about it. So I kind of like never really saw like the big deal about like my. I was like, dude, like, I feel like none of the art I look at is really cool. And I went to like this trip to Spain, right? And they took us to like this museum called the Prado.
I've been
And,
there.
oh, you've been there? Nice.
Yeah, I went there 2 years ago.
Nice. So you might know, like, you might have a similar experience. So like as I was walking in, I was telling my friend, like, why are we even here, dude? Like art blows, dude. And as soon as I said that, like I rounded this corner and I saw this like famous picture by this guy named, I forgot his first name, but last name is Velasquez. And it's like this like beautiful image of Jesus. And I swear like my heart like sank, dude. Like I literally felt like the fucking like, I was like, oh my God, this is so
The holy
fucking beautiful.
presence.
Yeah, like honestly, I really felt like this is like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Mhm.
And that's when I started to see, oh my God, dude, there's levels, you know? And like the fucking like, I don't know, I ate my words, you know?
That's awesome. That's a
You know
fucking-
what, Gene? Like I can totally relate to that experience because exactly the same shit happened to me when I went to Italy, when I went to the Vatican, and I went in to see the Sixtine Chapel.
Uh-huh. Oh
It was
shit.
amazing, G. I could totally relate, G. Like it's like I'm feeling it again as you're describing it, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Did you feel the same thing like Janelle at all? Like
When I went to Spain
to the Prado
and
or
the
anything
museum,
like that? Yeah.
yeah, we went to a few museums. Because we visited Madrid, Granada, Sevilla, and then Barcelona. Did I say that already? Barcelona. Especially Barcelona is a very creative, like there's just
City.
graffiti everywhere. Yeah, there's just graffiti everywhere. Like art is everywhere. More specific, I feel like there. But I
Yeah.
did feel I was just so inspired to see all these, paintings and sculptures because they had a bunch of other like different. I think they had a Calder, Alexander Calder, I think outside of there.
I
I
don't know
think
who
so.
that
Was it
is.
there?
Is he like a dope artist?
He's a mobile, does like mobile artist. Yeah.
That's dope.
I might have that wrong. I think I'm confused, but I think they had a piece there. But anyway, yeah, it's just a bunch of like, just to see it up close and to say that how were they able to do these things with like I think nowadays we have like references, we can look back to those times, but like back then what did they really have to look
Dude,
really,
yeah.
aside from
great.
painting like from life or anything, and life painting is hard too. It's just
Mhm.
amazing. It's just a bunch of things. But yeah, I felt like very, 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 very inspired going there. And you just seeing the emotions through a painting, like you said, like seeing that Jesus, yeah, maybe you're not a religious person, but seeing that you're just like, fuck, like
Mhm.
it just speaks to you,
It's the
whatever emotion.
magnitude. It's the magnitude of. I feel like it's a magnitude of everything. That it's not just the piece, but it's what surrounds the piece. Like for
Mhm.
example, for me, like it was the fucking like the Vatican itself, like the structure, the building itself is already beautiful. It's already like a perfect setting for the masterpiece that is to come. You know.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, so I feel like I should know this, but the Sistine Chapel's in the Vatican? I
It's
thought it was
inside
just
the Vatican.
what? Why don't I know that?
Dude, that's where they go
Wow,
in. That's where
dude.
they go in to
I feel like such an
elect the new
idiot.
pope.
Come on, I thought you were educated, Ivan. Come on.
I guess not, dude.
Oh, you're like one of us. You don't know. Oh, your cousin knows.
I thought it was just like some random place in like Italy, like just like another like chapel. Like
No, dude. That's
alright.
like the chapel of the Sixtine Chapel. I mean, of the Vatican.
Cool.
And not only that, dude, like also like fucking going to Notre Dame and like all of these places, dude, that I got to see in a very short amount of time.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it was way too much to take in.
Really?
know? Like at moments, it just felt like it just wasn't real. Like it was like a replica,
Hmm.
or it's just like, yeah, whatever. Like not with that attitude, but like it just felt like that. Like
Mm.
I trip
I
out
don't.
on like the old school artwork and not only the artwork too, but like just like the structures, like you're saying, of buildings and all that put together. Like I haven't been to
Mm,
Spain, but even just going to Mexico to go visit my cousin, like Querétaro, San Miguel, Luis, and all that those places,
mm,
like it kind of throws you, it trips you out. Like when you walk into those places and you're like, dude, they built this like, you know, however many hundreds of years ago, or some of them even older than that.
Hmm.
And then just looking at the artwork too, it's kind of the same thing where you're
oh,
just like,
geez.
kind of like what you were
There's
saying, just like how the hell how did they come up with this like style or this form, or like this, there's no preconceived, like idea before them. That's kind of
Do
trips
you
me out.
think I guess this question is more like for Janelle, but I guess all of you guys, like, do you guys think like the technical ability of artists has kind of like gone down, or is that like a false thought?
I
In
think
what
it's
like,
been disregarded.
Like, okay, when I saw that picture of that Velasquez painting, I think it like this guy really knew how like light reflected off things. You know what I mean? Like how to contour things like the right way or some shit. I don't know. I just feel like he was just a very technical painter. Like sometimes when I see like modern art, like it seems like almost like lacking in like the technical aspect of it and more of the expressive aspect of art.
Mm.
Do you think
it
that's a fair
depends.
criticism or a fair like thought, or is
I
that
think it
just
depends on the artist. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of badass artists who do show a lot of detail in their work on, on Instagram
mm,
or online, or I mean even in real life. But I definitely would say that I feel that there's a lot of people out there who are kind of just more like for the, oh look, I'm doing this wild crazy thing, which is cool too, but I don't think a lot of that is technical. Like I still think it's cool, but have you seen those guys that do like the paint, like the buckets, and then they like punch
Mhm.
holes in the bottom of the
Yeah,
bucket and they spin it,
yeah. They just
and then it like just goes in a circle. I think it's fucking awesome, but like now everybody's doing that. Like you could see tons of videos on different people doing that.
I don't even
And
know what that is, dude.
I think it looks cool, and it's also like, it could be a form of like release, and you're just kind of like enjoying yourself. But like I kind of feel the same thing when I look at the end. Like they all kind of look the same to me, and I'm just kind of like, but I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I get you. I get you.
Okay.
I don't know that like the skill of like, or the details of modern art is
Maybe
gone
it's
down.
like a mainstream thing because like in music they talk about like the death of melody, how like songs are becoming more and more like melodically simplistic. It's more like rhythmic because there's three elements to music usually. It's like harmony, melody, and rhythm, right? So like
Hmm.
they say like melody is becoming like more and more simple and but then I was thinking that's probably just pop music because there's a lot of underground shit that's like really like complicated.
Dude, that's
Is that
definitely
how it is like for art, you think?
I would say that it just depends on the artist, their style, what they're going for. I will say that light is fucking hard to get down. Lighting is like you have to really, I don't know, it's just like the artist really has to just understand the concept of light when it hits an object, when it hits your skin, when light hits your skin, it's just not like uh well, there's vessels under there, there's blood, so you have to consider that. Like that's why I think back then they just, I don't know, like that's what it makes me wonder, like how did they grasp the concept of lighting and the concept of like just painting skin, painting realistic or whatever it might be. Just like it blows my mind. I just think that I think it's just a person's style. I've seen artists now that still paint like that. I follow a bunch and they paint more Renaissance, like more
Mm.
at that time, and it's just like how do they even understand
Yeah, I think
the
that's what blew
concept of
my
that?
mind.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on. My bad.
No, that's pretty much it. I think I was just agreeing with kind of what Frank was saying, And then I think on the whole bucket thing, yeah, it's simple. Well, I want to say simple, but like You haven't seen that? Just like they put like a rope and then they put a bucket in the center and they fill it with paint and then they just punch a hole under and then they just put a canvas and they just like swing it around and it just like, it's kind of like abstract art.
Like mathematically, it works itself out because of the motion of where it swings, and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and but it like eventually makes like a geometric kind of like a looking
Like
shape.
a spiral.
I've never even heard of this, dude.
It looks super cool.
It's like spiral painting. You never seen them at like fairs?
No, I'm usually looking up.
Stupid.
He's usually looking at the fried Oreos and the fried
Wait,
everything.
let me add something to what Ivan was saying. I feel like what makes a masterpiece, like when you think of a masterpiece, you automatically think of like the most popular paintings or works of art, right? Like the David or the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper, and all of those things. They're masterpieces not only because of the skills that it took to know how to paint or to paint them like that, especially at that time of period. Okay, so there's the artistic ability that went into it, but not only that, there's also geometry that goes into it. There's also politics that go into it. There's also symbolism that goes into it. There's also religion that goes into it. There's like a shit fuck ton of things that goes into painting those things. And that's what makes them a masterpiece. You know, it's not something that you can only admire and analyze through your eyes, but also through your head, you know?
Yeah.
And that is, I feel like above everything, that should be honored or regarded as the highest level of art. You know?
And you say something really interesting, like because I've long thought, like, you know, I don't do art. I do like, well, I consider my music art. You know what I mean? Like I try to incorporate like everything into it. Like I don't, like my lyrics aren't shallow. Like if you read my lyrics, like if you know, especially if you know me as a person, like I'm trying to say something more besides like what you're hearing. And I got that like from many like of those art pieces. Like I saw Goya's, apparently they found like a bunch of like Goya's like final art pieces that I guess like he didn't even intend to release or some shit, and they put them all like in a room.
Yeah.
And it was like at the end of his life. And when I walked in, like I felt the heaviness. Like I felt like I felt what he was going for, like his fear. You know what I mean? Or some shit. Like it looked like he was in despair or something. It felt like he was in despair.
I think that, you know, with every subject, I think at the end it just boils down to like your emotion, whatever you're feeling. If it's political, you're feeling some type of way of whatever's going on, and I think that's the greatest part about art is that, you know, whatever the subject kind of may be, it's whatever the person that sees it or, you know, takes from it. You know, like you said, like just going back to the Jesus piece, like maybe you're not religious, but you took so much just from seeing, you know, the pain in his eyes, or just even just sometimes technique, the lighting, the color use, whatever. But that's what I love about art, is that it's, you know, you can't really say that it's one thing. You know, it's whatever it makes the viewer feel.
I always check out on really complicated pieces like that too, just for the sheer fact that like someone was able to imagine that and then literally like put into reality what they have in their head. That like just blows my mind, because I always wanted to like paint and draw and like be able to do that. And I feel like as a kid I would try, but like I feel like that's how you know like when you're meant for something or not. And I really did try for a while, and I'm like, yeah, I suck at this. And like just to watch people like do it, so because my brother, he's an artist, and I feel like when I watch him draw, it looks so effortlessly like to him, you know what I mean? Like he just he has it in his head, and then he's just like, oh, I'm gonna put it out like on paper or canvas or whatever. That blows my mind. Is it like that for you, or do you feel like it changes as you go, like from what you originally had in your head?
Well, I would say on that too, I think, no, well, I know that everybody can draw, everybody can paint. It just takes people longer. It's just one of those things that you have to keep doing it. I wouldn't say that I was, you know, I can look back at my first painting, my first portrait, like just a few years ago in community college, and it looks way different to anything that I've done now, but it's because I just kept going. And I've talked to other artists, and a lot of artists, yeah, some are like, you know, pretty talented from the get-go, but it's like to where they got where they are right now, they just have to keep doing it. And I think that a lot of people always say that, like, oh, I can only draw stick figures, but it's like, no, but if you keep going, it's that I think that it's that part of getting discouraged. You're like, well, I suck at it, but it's because you never gave it a chance. If you kept going and I still have those doubts every time I start a piece. I'm like, oh man, this sucks, but I have to just keep going and push. And sometimes, you know, you will always you learn from it. You learn from every piece. If say you're not happy with it, then in the next piece you learn from it. You know what you did wrong, if the lighting could be better, if the shading could be better, lighting. It's just you learn from each piece. And I will say that, when I do start something, usually from what I have in my head and when I put it on paper or canvas or whatever it may be, it does look different. And I think it's just because your mind is just like constantly just thinking and where it could go. And, you know, a lot of stuff comes into play too. Like you start to pick up things from what you did before. So you're like, oh, I did this last time. Maybe I could do this different. Or I learned what not to do here that won't work here, you know? You start to apply those things in everything you kind of do.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I hear people say things like, I can never play music. And I said, just practice. Just keep doing it. Like, I wasn't good at it. Like, there were people around me that I knew were, like, naturally inclined. And I don't think I really was.
Yes.
I just really wanted to do it. So I just kept doing it.
You feel
I agree with you, Janelle. I think that's exactly, like, how it is.
Yeah.
You feel like that's kind of part of like the imagination part too, is like you're saying, like you're able to start it's one thing and then like as you go it changes, but that's kind of part of like the beauty of the imagination, right? Like it can change form and like, you know, turn into something else or maybe even better than what you originally thought it was or something. Or
and I think some people have more of an imaginative like I know people that just create from the top of their head. It's like, oh, how did you draw that? Or how did you paint that? Like, oh, I just like maybe no reference, like no photo reference. Personally, for me, I need to work on that. I'm more of a photo reference person, but it's crazy what your imagination, you know, can carry. Some artists just blow my mind with whatever. And even just concepts of like what they use. Some people are doing like portraits with like, I don't know, crazy shit, like stuff I never even thought of, like pieces of glass or I've seen somebody do with hair and stuff like that. Like it's just crazy. Like your imagination is
yeah,
like,
dude. The perspective is really fucking crazy.
You know what that reminds me of, Ivan?
What?
When we went to Slap City.
Why? Oh, because there's like a bunch of junk that's made into art.
There's then the thing is that even though it was clearly junk, it was clearly recycled. There was something cool about it, you know. Because there was for some of them I feel like the meaning was clear, but for most of them it just looked like whoever built them was on an acid trip, or they were probably on an acid trip. But it still ended up looking like, I don't know, it's just like gnarly looking structures everywhere.
It's order from chaos, you know? Like, you know, there's like
yeah.
It's weird, man. Like chaos is like a real fucking force of creation.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like I definitely believe that. I definitely could back that up. Dude, check this out. This is one of Nellie's
Dude, you fucking drew that?
How amazing is that?
Dude, that looks exactly like a fucking dog, dude.
No way, G. That's
amazing.
Dude, your shading is fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, you're
yeah, I wouldn't classify you, but then again, my friends were like, you know, 21 or 23 at the time when I was like judging them all super hard. I was like, man, you guys blow, dude. Quit.
Your portraits are like on point, dude.
You actually like seem to know your shit.
Look at that.
Damn, dude.
Dude, that's amazing.
That's what I look. That's like what I look like when I wake up in the morning.
I was gonna say, dude, where did you get a picture of Frank?
And just FYI, we'll link Janelle's Instagram account and like all of their social media on the description of this episode for everyone that's listening. Just make sure that you check that.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that we have people that only can hear too, because like on Spotify there's no video. I'm
know, dude.
glad that you referenced that.
Yeah, Janelle, you'd be glad to know we fucking have a whopping 10 listeners.
10.
Yeah.
Just think, one day.
No,
Gonna
no,
be
we
And you just gotta
actually
keep going.
no, we
Yeah.
were talking. Me and Frank were talking something
10
before this, and we're like
million.
saying that we actually have some listeners now. We have some listeners. I was telling him we have some listeners in South America now. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Cool.
We're getting there, guys. So this was
Get in there. You
ballpoint.
just gotta keep going.
Is that like your main style of drawing is with the ballpoint? Do you like, is that what you're,
Oh, you do it with pen?
yeah, this is
I
ballpoint.
actually
right?
just started.
Damn, dog.
The
Which
Frank-
one?
I think the Frankenstein is ballpoint.
Yes.
It says ballpoint on it.
Yes.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Badass, dude. That's super dope.
I actually just started doing ballpoint pen just to kind of help me understand tattooing more, because when you think about it, it's almost the same, because like there's no eraser.
Yeah.
It's on the skin. It's on the
That's
skin. So it
smart.
helps you with that technique. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very smart, dude.
Yeah, I had a mentor teach me that. And he's just like, that's kind of the only way you can really like practice aside from also just tattooing. Like if you're gonna practice on the side, ballpoint pen is like the perfect
It's fucking genius. You
way
like
to
blew
go.
my mind right
Like the
now.
most accurate. Yeah,
That's fucking
I know. When
crazy,
he told me that,
dude.
I was like, "Oh fuck, that
It
makes
makes total
sense." So
It
sense,
that
dude.
makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
moment of revelation. It's like, ooh.
Can you do it again? Wait, one more time.
No.
We add like a
I even wrapped the pen like the machine
Oh, dude, that's fucking really
to
smart.
hold it, so I can hold it, and like the muscle memory. That's the whole thing too
Oh,
of like
shit.
practicing. You have to get your muscle memory, your hand,
Damn.
to get
dude.
used to it. It's kind of
So,
like
like,
playing
where-
guitar, right, or any
Yeah.
instrument. You gotta
I've always had-
learn and keep going.
So you're studying to be a tattoo artist, right? Is that what you're saying?
She's already
Jeez.
doing
Or you
them.
already are?
Don't insult her. What the?
Dude,
I'm gonna kick you
Sorry,
out of this
I was-
fucking. I'm sorry, Janelle.
I missed it. I totally missed it.
It's
I
not
thought,
like that.
No,
It's not.
I'm just playing. I'm fucking around.
She's already nailing them, dude.
holy
Damn,
shit,
dog.
dude. That's
You
You should
fucking
get that tatted on you,
amazing.
Frank. You
I
fucking-
would, dude. I want a Simpsons tattoo.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Like, at some point, I might be hitting you up,
Do
Janelle.
it.
For
Let's
do it.
Let's
people-
do it. I
The
love
question I
Simpsons.
wanted to ask Janelle, it's a question that I've always wanted to ask someone that knew about tattooing. How does someone that wants to do tattoo work up to be an artist, like an actual tattooer? Like, where do they practice on? Like, you practice. I know you start on with the ballpoint, but where do you move up from there?
Isn't it like apples? I heard you guys do apples. Is that true or no?
I've never seen anybody do an apple, but what's commonly used is well, at least I don't want to say back then because it wasn't that long ago, but people would start off with like oranges. I recently did a honeydew. I was practicing on a honeydew.
What?
People do like pig skin, like either
I was
pig
gonna say.
ears or pig, bless you,
Thanks.
or like pig, yeah, like pieces of like hide, like hide, not hide, sorry.
Like
Yeah,
from
like
that
pig
70s show?
skin, hide from that 70s show.
Do some people practice on their own skin?
Yeah, people practice on whatever. Now they actually sell like
Little nephews and
fake limbs.
What the?
Imagine.
Oh, I saw that, dude. Those are
Are you
trippy.
Yeah.
serious?
I have a
That's
fake
different.
arm. I have a fake like a whole
Oh,
arm.
I thought it was like real. I
they
was like,
Oh.
what?
No,
the
no,
I did too,
no.
dude. Like
Like,
for
they
a second, I was
make
like,
Dabbers.
holy shit, dude.
No.
Damn,
That's
that'd be an
lab
interesting
stuff.
story. Just a tattoo artist that's like so dedicated, he goes to the morgue and shit. He
Dang.
bribes the fucking
Holy
mortician, get me a fucking leg, dude.
What if that
dude.
became a thing? Like people
just
were
get
like,
the
"Hey,
dead
can you
body?
tat my like dead?"
What about a
cousin
mortician
Oh,
who wants to
damn.
be,
brother?
dude, like that could be a story. A
That's a good
mortician
idea.
who wants to be a tattoo artist.
You just inspired us, dude.
Dude,
Dang.
that's fucking,
We're gonna
yeah.
find some leads for you, dude. Don't trip. We're morbid like that.
I like
Dude,
that.
I don't want to like, I'm sorry for like being completely off topic a little bit, but when you went to Barcelona, didn't the fucking buildings trip you out, dude? Like the Antoni Gaudi buildings? It didn't, like, you know, that Sagrada Familia kind of shit?
Yeah. It's just different. Like I think from living here and then just going, I think just completely somewhere else and seeing how everything else is built over there, even just the culture is like a big culture shock. You're kind of like, what?
Yeah. It
You
just
know what
looked
that
like it
building
was like
looks
from
like to me?
Mars to me, you know? Like
It
from
looked
like
like
another
an-
planet.
Yeah.
I think it looked like an ant
Yeah.
colony upside down, like from the way it would look like from the inside.
They said that he said that that's where he gets his inspiration from, like you know, natural structures like that.
Yeah, you can totally
Natural
see it, dude.
structures,
Like,
yeah.
Dude, Frank, if you ever go there, it's fucking it's a mind fuck. Like it doesn't look like a church.
Really?
Yeah, it looks really fucking crazy.
It looks like something
wanna
from like Star Wars or
I think like
not even.
never ending story kind of shit.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
Yeah,
that.
never ending story. Yeah, I thought the
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah.
It looks like that. It's fucking nuts, bro.
I would love to go there one day. That's definitely on the list.
I had a dream about Spain last night. Maybe we should all go.
Let's go.
Let's do it,
I,
dude.
I want to go again. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Dude, I
it's
bet
I'm
you
down,
super
I'm down.
cheap right now.
Inspiration. What's that?
I bet you super cheap right now.
Probably, yeah. Especially Spain because they got hit hard. They're cool now.
The thing is,
They're cool
they
now.
won't- I think that are they accepting like Americans in
I
Europe?
know. We gotta ask that about every fucking country now. Do you guys still accept Americans over here?
Let's just take wave runners, dude. We'll just take sea dudes to the East Coast and just like tie a bunch of
Yeah.
fucking gasoline canisters at the end of it.
Yeah.
Fucking
Sounds good, bro.
ride all the way over there.
See you there in like fucking 2 years, bro. Months.
That would suck so bad, dude.
Oh god. That would.
Is that a Legend of Zelda poster right there?
This right here, yes, this
Yeah.
is my creation of Hyrule. The creation of Hyrule.
Look,
You're
I actually have a
Zelda.
trophy.
Hell yeah!
Oh, that's
Holy shit!
Yeah, we're Zelda
Hey,
fans here.
I knew there was
Yeah.
some kind of
Love
like there was gonna be some kind of connection there. That was good.
What's your favorite
I'm
game?
glad.
Can always count on these guys with that.
I'm gonna say it has to be Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely.
I think
one.
like
It
I
has
think like
to.
the-
It has
yeah.
I know. It's so crazy. I think mine would either be that one or honestly, I think I like Majora's Mask a little more. Just a little
I
bit
knew you
more.
were gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
think
more.
Breath-
Yeah.
I think for me it's between Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild, dude.
Breath of the Wild's amazing.
Breath of the Wild. That one was good. Yeah.
I'm totally.
What's up
like,
with the Ocarina? Like, why do you like that one so much?
I just played it so much as a kid. I
Mhm.
just loved everything about it. Like finding the fucking fairies, you know, and I just thought every boss was dope. What's the first one? I think the giant spider.
Yeah, Goma.
And the first one, the first giant, I think, yeah. And then I just loved it. I just love how it's just like the Gorons.
it's,
Like I don't know. I just love like every little like. I just love every mission. I just love the whole. I just love the game. I don't know
Yeah.
how to
I think the
explain
number
it. It just
one
brings me.
reason-
It's so cool.
I think the number one reason why people our generation love it so much is number one because of the nostalgia factor.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
probably,
number one.
but still.
Number two, it's
The music.
It's a really fucking good game.
Hell yeah,
It's
the
a
music's
really
fucking
good game
incredible.
overall. Like it's got good pacing. It's a long game. It's semi-open world. Like you can kind of wander around and do whatever you want, kind of. You know,
Yeah.
you had like it was just dope. Like the music was amazing. It's memorable. You know, you can
The music is what gets you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole
Definitely.
lore.
The Gerudo Valley when you're going through that.
Oh, dude, that shit
I
pumped
love
you
that.
up, dude.
Oh,
I was like, oh, yeah, we're gonna
come
fucking go
on.
on an adventure, dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then the
Yeah.
whole lore of the franchise, the whole Legend of Zelda games, you know, like Majora's Mask is a fucking amazing game too. I have a painting right here. Let me see if I can show it to you really quick. This was
Oh, you
hand
got the
painted
mask.
in Mexico.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. I fucking love that picture you have.
It is sick.
Yeah. So
Dude.
Majora's Mask is a fucking
tight.
amazing game because it's a dark game. Like it's the meaning behind the story and the characters and all of that stuff. It's
That's what I was gonna say about those two pairs of games. Like, I think for me, like all that shit you guys said, of course, dude, I fucking love all those aspects of it. But as I got older, I started like to think about it, and I was like, there was something else. Like I feel like there was something else to that game, and I started to think that it's because like it was like the first like one of the first like interactive mediums where like you could play with the consequence of time. Like Ocarina hinted at, you know, like people getting older and their lives getting like worse, you know. And like
Mhm.
you kind of like could relate to that because like, you know, you're a kid, life is kind of easy, you grow up, life gets
Mhm.
kind of hard and shit.
Yeah.
You have to take on responsibilities and shit. Like it was kind of mirrored that, you know, like Link was like on a fun adventure, like you were just like hanging out with Zelda, like saving Hyrule, and then
Yeah.
fucking like Ganon wins. And you're like, holy fuck, did I really have to get my shit together? And all these people like
Yeah.
have like shitty lives now.
You know what's
And
who's the
then wait,
character?
hold on,
Oh,
hold
go
on,
ahead.
hold on.
Sorry.
And then like and then Majora's Mask was even darker than that because it dealt with death, like the ultimate consequence of time.
Mhm.
And that fucking like I think that's one of the reason why I think I like it a little bit more because the characters are really dealing with their grief and their fucking like, you know, their regrets and their hopes and all that shit. And it like really like got to me.
Yeah, gee.
That's the end.
Yeah, gee. Right now, when you were talking about the whole concept of time and how time progresses, and as you get older, life becomes harder, and that's kind of like a lot of the symbology in Ocarina of Time. I feel like one of the characters that trips me out the most about that game and that ties with this whole um, metaphor that you created is what's his name, dude? The graveyard keeper,
Dampy.
Eh,
Dampy, dude. Because like he was Link's friend. He was friends with Link when he was a kid, you know. But he's like a friend that you like would just meet like once or twice in your life, kind of. And then the next thing you know, he's dead, you know. And it was like the least expected person that you could have think of to die,
Yeah.
you know.
So that little kid is Dampy. Like I always thought that little kid became that guy in the fucking in Hyrule that collected ghosts.
They collected the ghost.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm
I
not. I
heard
don't know.
that theory, dude. Maybe,
I don't
maybe
know.
that would be
Like,
cool.
There's a lot of theories out there. Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, like there's I remember when you told me that, you know, that on Link's house at the bottom there's a painting, a carving of like a guy with a sword and a fairy and a dragon.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember you told me that that was like one of Link's dreams that he's had,
Uh-huh.
like something like that, and he drew it there, and that was him, Navi, and Ganon.
Yeah.
And I remember that back then, like blew my mind. I was like, "What? Like, how
Yeah.
do
The
you know
detail.
that?"
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Dude,
fucking.
these guys are both like huge animation fans. They could probably like name every like anime series that's been great. Hey, you know which
Right.
one I tuned into? I don't know if that was you that showed me this. Ivan was what's the Bebop one?
Oh, Cowboy Bebop. It's like the
Dude,
Cowboy
sickest
dude,
shit
watching
ever.
Bebop.
that.
Yeah. Cowboy
Oh my
Bebop.
god, it's
Dude,
Yeah.
so good.
dude, it's a really good show. I'm like tripping out on like the animation and just like the story, and I'm like, okay, this
Dude,
is like pretty awesome.
Fucking
do you want to? Do
everything,
you want to
dude.
fucking? Do you want a story? Do you want an anime to trip out on? Ivan, what's the name of that fucking weird ass anime that you showed me?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was on Hulu or something. Like it was just like
Oh,
three or
Fooly
four
Cooly.
episodes. Full
Fully
holy
Cooley.
Yeah,
shit, dude.
dude.
Tight. That was
That's like a
tight. Fully
that's
Cooley
like an
is
acid
tight.
trip on crack, dude.
An acid trip on crack. That sounds awesome.
That's what it is. It's
Dude, from
awesome.
an artist technical perspective, can you give us any insight onto those two animes we just named?
um, like I will say because I went to school for illustration, and it's we're paired up with animation, like the animation group. It's 100% way different than like illustrating. That's like a whole other level of like I don't want to say I don't understand animation. It's just like it's just something it's just a whole different kind of art that I've
Is it
never
because
dabbled
it's
into.
Japanese anime?
No,
I
I
think you're just
think
talking
it's
about
just
animation.
Just like the actual animating
Oh,
that
the way that,
but like
oh, I
regular
get
like
it, I get it.
animation, but meaning I think it falls under the same like
Yeah.
people still have to create it, people still have to draw it, and just like all everything that just goes through making it, the storyline, storyboarding, all that stuff. I think it's just like uh yeah,
I
I love those. I love the ones you just mentioned though. Like it blows my mind watching them. It's just I think not only what captivates you is like the story, but just the way everything is drawn, the way everything's executed, the colors, and just I love it.
Yeah. I was really
Yeah.
impressed with Fully Cooley. Like me and
Really
Nigel,
cool.
we watched it recently. Like we came over one day and like we were just fucking, you know, he's stoned and I'm just fucking hanging out. I don't really smoke that much anymore. But I
that's
started to like
fucking-
look at it, you know, like through like a technical lens, and I started. There's like this interview with John Kay. You know who John Kay is, right? Like the creator of Ren and Stimpy, John Christopher Lucci.
Oh, yeah.
He's an animator, and he had this interview where he said all the animators today can't do what like the animators like, you know, Tex Avery and all those fucking like Looney Tunes animators like could do. I forget their names, dude, and it sucks that I forgot their names. And when I was watching Fully Cooley, I was like, dude, this is like that. Like it seemed that way to me. Like
they were able to captivate that.
yeah, like how fluid, like
the
they're
old,
like,
I don't say old school, but yeah.
yeah, just like I mean, the humor was like kind of slapstick, but there was like a fluidity to it that like I thought like the old Looney Tunes cartoons kind of had with it, you know.
So crazy to me how much work went into those, like the older animations. Just literally every fucking thing had to be drawn out, like frame. I don't know if it was frame to frame or what, but like,
you know, there's
You should check out Akira, man. Like Akira for like
That's dope. Yeah.
yeah, like really like in
Oh,
terms of
I
like a
love it.
triumph of animation, dude. I feel like it's like the best like thing I've ever
Really?
seen. Yeah.
you know
They
Frank,
say
right?
everybody says that that's the best. Yeah.
wait, what is it called?
It's just so
Akira.
Akira.
Like AKU?
good. Akira.
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 All right.
It's like one
You
of the
know-
greatest. Everybody always acclaims it as like the best anime.
Yeah, it really
Out
is
there.
like I saw it when I was a kid, dude. Like I saw it on like the Sci-Fi Channel, and I was like, dude, this is fucking crazy, man.
I trip out on that. The new animation too.
I
Is
owe that
kinda
to my
crazy.
brother. He's a
Oh, good. Sorry.
no. He's just to say I owe it to him because he's a big anime like fan. Like he loves like Gundam, like Dragon Ball Z, of course.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I grew up with all that stuff. It's just like it was what was, you know,
It's
popular
cool that
back
you
then.
like
I mean,
it.
come on, everything in that in the '90s. Yeah, I love it. It's cool. It's just like I like to appreciate every kind of art, just because you know, like I said, I started like watching cartoons. It's like, how do they draw that? How do they do that? And then it just kind of stems from there. You know?
I wish I got
And
into
again,
it,
when I said
man.
when it comes to music, then it just kind of took a different level.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that I
Like
wish I got
animation
into
or-
yeah, because
Yeah.
like because it's like the most limitless art form. Like you don't really like I have stories in my mind I want to make, and I think of like making it into a live action movie. But what I would really like to do is make him an animated movie, because you're not really limited by budget. Like you're just limited by your imagination, you know.
Mhm.
And you could
100%.
just
I
yeah.
agree.
I just feel like it's like the most free way to express yourself, like visually.
I think you can. Well, I say you can. You just you just have to practice, or even if you
You don't think I'm
develop,
too
maybe
old?
through there you
Like,
develop
get
your own
the
style. You know.
10,000 hours in.
No.
You don't think I'm too old to just like develop my art, my drawing skills?
Never too old.
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
you're right.
like, even
Well,
though
I mean,
suck, I'm like, I'm
I
still.
don't think you're ever to do
try.
anything, to be honest.
You never. I agree. You're never old to do anything, but I feel like you have to be realistic with your expectations.
Yeah.
You know, like you can. I feel like you really, if your expectations are to probably draw at the level that Janelle draws, like that's probably gonna. It's not. I don't feel like it's realistic.
I mean,
you
it
know?
depends, dude. I think. Well, I think that kind of goes back to what I was
It
saying.
depends.
Like, because there are people who do start shit at older age. I mean, it's gonna take you way longer, you know, to get to that point. And that's what they say. It's 10,000 hours. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Maybe it does matter when you start, because maybe your brain is a little bit more pliable, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
at a younger age. But I mean, I still don't think a grown-up can't learn something. You know, if they really want it, they really want to. But I do agree, like, with as far as like being more realistic about like, okay, if you're gonna like, I mean, if you're just genuinely not a good drawer, maybe your hands are shaky, like, you know what I mean? That's why that's what I was kind of saying is like, I feel like some people are actually physically just or mentally more cut out for that too. Like for me, I have shaky ass hands. So one, I'm never going to be a surgeon, and I'm probably not going to be very good at drawing, you know. But I can do other things.
But
I'm
see-
a drummer. I'm a fidgety ass motherfucker, but I could drum. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But see, there's different styles of art, and it doesn't matter if your hand's shaky. Like
true.
nothing's always clear cut. You know, like you do abstract, you fucking, like I said,
Sculptures.
create your own style. You know, sculpture. You know, anything, ceramics,
yeah.
anything. You can do anything. You know, maybe not rendered, but even then, it's like, because with practicing as of late, I have noticed that even if you have shaky hands, you could still.
Get
My friend,
straight
he has a broken pinky. He has a broken pinky, so it's always like this, but he's a tattoo artist and he does some good shit. It's just like training your hand, you know, like to even draw a straight line or circle. I could notice that my movement is way, like, I could kind of do it like in one shot, as opposed to before I'll be like shaky or my lines will be all like fucked up. But it's just practice, honestly. That's what I said. It's
I
just
feel like
honestly,
that's what it
like
comes
everything,
down
it takes
to.
practice.
Frank's got
Yeah.
drummer hands, dude.
Dude, literally, I was that kid in class. I was just like, I'm still like that, dude. I'll be like in line and shit, I'm just like tapping on whatever I'm holding, and people are just like looking at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, like.
I used to get made fun of for that. I used to do the same
Or you
shit.
could do finger painting. Finger painting's an art form. I've
I'll
seen
just,
people do
like-
some dope ass portraits with finger painting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With music, like I'll put paint on the tips of my fingers, and I'll be like,
I was thinking the old artists were so fucking good because I feel like they were like taught like physics too. Like Leonardo da Vinci was kind of,
Anatomy.
yeah, he was like into like science and shit. And I wonder if like that's something else to it, you know?
It was a combination of many things, dude. It was first of all his fascination for anatomy. It was also the social change that was happening at the time, the Renaissance, and the fucking all the money that went into the art during those years.
That guy was like fucking a freak, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't get that kind of person like
Dude,
usually.
like he also built like machines of war.
Yeah, dude, like that's the weird thing about it. You don't like, you know, for me, like I named him as like the person I would like to emulate in my life, like a Renaissance person.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get Renaissance people, really, you know? That shit's like really fucking, it takes a lot of like time.
It does.
100%.
And every Renaissance is going to be different. You know?
Well, what I mean is like someone who like tries to study up on like everything, just someone who like genuinely thirsts for like becoming the best version of themselves.
That's what they were striving for, and that's how they ended up with like all of these
Badass
works
people.
of art. All of these works of art, all of the technological and the science, the mathematical, physical advantages that we had during those years. Because of all these people. It's fucking crazy, G. Like, I trip out on that a lot.
hey, Janelle, do you, oh, sorry, dude.
No, I wasn't going to say anything. You can go.
I was just going to ask, do you ever use like digital, or do you ever like do digital art? Or do you work with anything like that? Like, you know, phone apps or like computer?
Yeah, like iPad or Photoshop and stuff like that, Illustrator. Yeah, because my day job is actually I work under a graphic design team for a clothing company.
Oh,
and we do all that stuff. We do like 90s cartoons. We do licenses for movies. It's like everything you kind of see like at Target, Hot Topic, stuff like that. So yeah, and then I have an iPad. So it's kind of harder for me because I'm kind of transitioning more to digital a little bit. I'm still kind of very stuck on my old ways of like, I love painting. Not to say that you can't get that same gratification, you know, in digital form, but I like mixing the paint by hand. I like seeing, you know, I like getting my hands dirty. My hands are kind of dirty right now from painting. And I like that feel. I feel more connected to that. And I think, you know, like digital, it's a time saver though. Like say the color's off, you could just change it, as opposed to sometimes you have to repaint something completely different, you know, and it gives you, I want to say quicker, but kind of. And the cool thing is though that you can paint something, draw something, scan it, take a photo of it, and then take it digital, and then just make it even more of like a killer piece, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but just starting from scratch is a little more hard for me because I'm so used to doing it like by hand. But yeah, I've been messing more with digital. I've done a few digital pieces.
Have you
I could
used
say.
one of those like animation? I don't know what they call them. They're like a pad that you
The
can literally
Cintiqs?
draw on.
The Cintiqs? Yeah, the Cintiqs, they're super expensive.
Yeah, those things are
Yeah.
nutty. I got a chance to I went on this field trip a long time ago because I was part of this audio group, and we got to go check out like the dialogue process for like Family Guy, American Dad, and all that.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
tight.
cool. Yeah, it was really cool. They took us to the animation room too. That was really cool. And we were like looking at the animators, just watching them. They were like drawing on those pads, and you could see it like pop up on the screen. And then they were like showing us that they were like moving, like they could draw a character out, right? So they'll draw out like Peter Griffin, and then once they have that like that sketch of him, they can move him in like 3D space. They can, you know, instead of looking at it from this way, they could look at it from that way instead of like having to redraw that. I was just, wow, that's just blown away by that. But then I was kind
Yeah,
of
the
wondering the
animators would
same
use that at
thing.
school.
What's that?
The animators would use that at school, those giant Cintiqs, and they're just like, it's an amazing digital tool for sure.
For sure, yeah. I was just kind of wondering though at that point too. I was kind of like, is it the same for them too? Like, because I was kind of thinking that like it's got to feel different for them because a lot of these guys were like older dudes, you know, and they've been drawing by hand probably for years. And I was kind of like, I always wondered that if it did like kind of make you feel a little disconnected like that. But they said that it didn't matter.
Yeah, but essentially it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what you were saying.
Sorry to be interrupted. It's because there's a lag, so yeah.
Oh, it's all good. I'm used
Hello?
to delay.
We could hear you, kind of. Well, now you froze up, I think.
Oh yeah, it froze up a little bit. There you are.
What's going on?
Yeah, I think we got it back.
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that. But then the cool thing about that is like you're so used to doing it traditionally that when you go on digital, it's almost the same thing. You just kind of have to learn the program, you know, but the concepts are the same. Line work, color, shapes, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's cooler because it gives you more of a, you know, I think you could just create more to a little bit like digitally quicker. You know, like if you want to draw a whole landscape for something, or if like you're drawing something animated and you're trying to draw a city, like you could do it way quicker, I think, than, you know,
Yeah.
put it
You don't have to worry.
clear
You don't have
to
to
what
worry
it's gonna
about.
look like, then you would draw it out probably, you know, a little bit.
Yeah.
Does the undo button help a lot?
Well, yeah.
Yes. It takes it's
I was just
quicker,
gonna
you
say,
know.
Gene, like you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about like, oh shit, like I just ran out of this kind of this paint, or I need this kind of brush, or I need this kind of
Yes.
stuff. You know, like everything is right
Mhm.
there at your fingertips. That's
Yeah.
insane. Like you're
That's a
carrying
good
with a
idea.
complete
Yeah.
art
In one
studio on a tablet size thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trip. I was watching my little
Exactly.
niece. She's
That's exactly it. Yeah.
she's an artist, my little niece, and she was tripping me out because she draws everything on her phone, and I was like, that's pretty crazy. It's not like when we were little, like my brother and I used to just sit there like by hand and draw, but they're all just like on their phone, just drawing
their
like
phones.
crazy ass pictures.
I used to draw demons in like Catholic school, and I got told on.
That's how I met this guy.
Oh yeah. We were like we met
So
at
we're here.
catechism. We met
Isn't
at
that crazy?
Yeah.
That you're drawing demons, but Jesus was the one that like brought you to art.
Yeah. It was crazy. I got told on though.
They're like,
I was like, what? They look cool. Like, what do you want me to do?
But how did they find out
setting
it
him
was
up.
you?
I'm gonna add Jesus in there. He's gonna be banishing him to hell.
Yeah, chill out, dude. It's an incomplete piece, dude. You're judging it on its like incomplete merit. You simpleton.
I'm writing scripture right now, okay? Like,
So wait, how
and
did they find out it was you? Do you? Like-
My friends told on me, dude. My friends told on me.
Snitches.
Dude, I know. I was
Those are
like,
your homies. Those aren't homies.
they're not, dude.
Man.
They're
I
not.
was gonna say.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
So I was gonna say that also the difference when you were talking about like the Peter Griffin, like how they animate things like on a tablet. Imagine South Park. They started off like doing everything like
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, like just what do you call it?
Paper.
Paper. Yeah, but
Oh, with the
there's
mouth
a stop
moving?
motion.
Yeah.
Stop motion. Like they would just do the whole episodes just like that. I
I
kind
wish
of
they
miss that
still. Yeah, I
though.
wish they still do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It looks too animated. You're just kind of like, oh.
Did you know that studio Leica Studios? Like, I didn't know they really did like stop motion.
What do you mean? They say what?
Right.
Like you know, like when you watch like a Tim Burton, like, you know, Night Before Christmas, like that was
Oh
like, you
yeah,
know,
that whole
stop
thing.
motion.
Mhm.
But
That
like
was, like-
everything is done after is like not like necessarily completely stop motion.
Oh,
But I
really?
heard like this studio called Leica, the one that did Coraline, like I heard everything was stop motion.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I heard that
Dude,
one was
yeah.
too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's a
Dude,
crazy.
it's fucking. I followed them on Instagram and I just see them like doing like their things. I'm like, dude, this is amazing, bro.
That's a trip. That's a trip.
That's
That's
a
why I
whole
wanted
art
Horsehead
form.
to
I
be
love that.
made, but that's
Stop
There's like
it's
these
impossible.
videos on YouTube. There's these videos on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have seen them, and not I'll share the link with you guys later. But it's they're comparing episodes, two different episodes from The Simpsons. One from like the original, like the I don't know if it's like the third or the fourth season of The Simpsons,
Mhm.
and one from like the 12th or the 13th season of the Simpsons or something like that. And they're comparing the opening scene side by side, and there is a huge fucking difference in the way they were animated. The way that it was done back then, you could see way more movement. You can
Oh,
see
really?
way more detail.
Oh.
You can see more like just even the blinking of the eyes, even the way when you know that bit when Marge is at the grocery shop
And she
at the
puts
opening.
Maggie through.
Yeah, and then she
Yeah.
turns around, dude. Like even the way when she turns around, her hair does like this spiral thing that comes across her face and then goes back up. And then on the newer one, like it just kind of like goes down and up like that.
Mm.
You know, and it's just shit that you don't really like see it. But once you see it side by side, like you can appreciate, you
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
can appreciate it way more.
Yeah, I kind of think that goes to say what you guys are talking about, like with South Park looking kind of more like, you know, more digitally. I mean, The Simpsons looks like that now too. A lot of things look like that now. That's why I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
bring back like the OG. I hope they don't. I don't know. I wonder if like a lot of that is like budget cuts. You know, like they like the fact that technology can make things so much more seamless.
I was
So I'm
thinking
like,
that
dude,
too.
don't forget about the art.
Yeah.
Don't forget
I
about
feel like
the heart
they
that
did
goes into
that
it.
to Avatar, dude. Some of
You
the
think so?
Avatar episodes, you can totally tell they had like budget cuts.
Which one is like
Really?
the first season or I mean ATLA or Korra?
Avatar.
No, the first season. The first season of
I
Avatar.
felt like it got better.
Really?
I feel like there were a couple of episodes where you could just tell like the background characters, like when they were like the main characters that were just in the background, they were poorly drawn.
Dude, do you remember that scene in South Park the movie where like Cartman's talking shit about Terrence and Phillip?
Yeah.
And he's just
Yeah.
like Carl's just like, Cartman, you love Terrence and Phillip. Like, yeah, but the animation's all crappy. And they like cut to the next
Yeah,
scene
then they
they're
walk
just like,
away, yeah. Yeah.
So cool. You're
I
so
think they even
genius.
tried still. I
What do you
think they
mean?
even tried still with Futurama. Like say
Really?
Futurama, like, you know, because they met the same creator. I think that
Mhm.
was still like it wasn't as animated as like I think they did like a last season, like the final season, like maybe a few years ago. And then you can tell there was a big like jump from that too.
Yeah.
Like just in the aspect of the Simpsons. I haven't watched any new Simpsons episodes since I don't know. Like
Since it was worth it?
2003 was probably like
You
my
know what
cutoff date.
Do
You know what
you
that
read any
reminded me of?
Junji Ito,
Okay.
Janelle, at all?
No, no.
Have you heard of this fool? Junji Ito?
Yes, I heard of him, but I
Yeah.
haven't.
It's the same story with me. Like I was gonna see if it was like really good. Like if it's worth the hype, you know? Because I want to check it out. It's like a horror movie
There's
or a
nothing wrong with
horror
checking it.
manga, you know?
Yeah, I've
There's
heard of it, but I haven't seen anything.
I don't know if you guys have seen. I remember watching this fucking It was a super weird anime that was on Netflix for like the longest time. I don't know if it's still there. I forgot the name of it. I only saw like a couple of episodes, but it always ended up with the girl fucking like bring out this huge hammer and just smashing the brains out of her boyfriend.
Sounds like Fully Cooley.
Super fucking bloody, dude. And it was
I
every
know, let's say
single.
Fully Cooley.
Yes.
No, this shit was like long, dude. Like Darian, our cousin, was watching it, dude, and he'd been watching it for like a while.
Fully Cooley's old, man. It's really old.
Yeah, but it's only like 4 episodes now.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty short. Yeah.
You talking about like that really dark animation shit? The clay one?
No, it was an anime. It might have been that. I don't know, dude. I just
I don't get
that's
fuck it.
mine.
Dude, all right, I'm gonna recommend you Berserk, Janelle, if you haven't seen it or
I
read
haven't
it.
seen it. No, I haven't.
Yeah, I think if you read it, like this dude gets a lot of acclaim for his art. He's like a fucking child prodigy or some shit, like in terms of like drawing.
Really?
Yeah, it looks pretty fucking amazing.
Actually, speaking of that, I actually bought Akira. Somebody made it, but with Simpsons. It's called
What?
Bartkira. It's called Bartkira.
Is it like
I
an
found-
animation?
No, it's in the
a
form of the
manga?
manga book. Yeah, but you know how
What?
technically I think Akira, I think the series is like a bunch of, it's like a long ass series, I think, of manga,
Yeah.
I think. And then
Yeah.
they put it in a movie. That's why the movie's so long too. And that supposedly they didn't even add like everything that was supposed to be like from the manga on there.
It's nothing
There's
like
just
it.
so much shit. Yeah, it's nothing like it. But I found it the other day. I was looking through my stuff and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot I bought this because they had was it Giant Robot? There's this spot in, I think in LA, and anyway they had like a show. I forgot what was a long time ago. But it was like maybe a few years ago.
Mhm.
And anyway, I remember I stumbled upon the book. They had like a few like Simpsons stuff, like artwork, and I don't know, I saw that fucking book and I was like, I had to buy it.
That's
And
fucking
I was looking
incredible,
through
dude.
my shit the other day and I found it and I was like, I can't believe I own this gem. This is fucking tight. It's called Bartkira. And it's fucking dope. It's
Dude,
fucking dope. Yeah.
that's the Simpsons know no bounds, dude.
Dude, they don't.
I love The Simpsons.
They fucking do
Simpsons
everything.
forever, dude.
But the
I
old
could talk
school
about The
stuff,
Simpsons
dude.
forever. Yeah, the old stuff. Yeah.
It's like, man, I wish I
Of
could just
course.
go back to that, but it's
Is there? Have you guys followed like I think there's an Instagram page where like they do like kind of like scenic scenes from like Simpsons
There's a bunch of them.
landscapes.
There's so many, like,
There's a
Really?
bunch.
Really?
I follow so many Simpson accounts. Yeah.
Really? I don't
Oh,
follow any.
man.
I don't
Somebody-
follow any either.
I think somebody
I hate
does
The
like
Simpsons.
Right.
I hope they get canceled.
Wow.
I'm just
They already
kidding.
did it. Episode 307.
No, I'm playing. I'm sorry.
there's somebody who actually does Renaissance paintings and they add Simpsons characters in them. I forgot what the
No
page is
way,
called.
dude.
Yeah. There's one with, I forgot what the painting is, and they added Barney, and he goes, "Don't cry for me, I'm already dead," and he's on the floor.
Yeah.
Somebody painted that shit. It looks so fucking cool.
Jesus,
Yeah.
man.
Simpsons forever. Simpsons forever.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, yeah.
I feel like one of the cartoon shows that is constantly good. Like every single episode, I feel like it's good. It's King of the Hill.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
How
right.
do you guys feel
I
about
love
that?
King of the Hill.
You're right.
I love King of the Hill.
I don't
Yeah,
feel like there's like a weak episode, like a weak season, you know? And
That's
it was
weird.
long. Like it ran for like what, like 13 years, 12 years, something like that.
Ran for a while.
Yeah. When they introduced Lucky, Tom Petty
Yeah.
Oh,
as
shit.
Lucky.
Oh shit, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
It totally sounds like him now that you like mentioned it.
Yeah. And then I think they continued after Brittany Murphy passed away because she was Luann.
Yeah.
And I think they still continued a little bit after that, but I don't know
Yeah.
how much further they ran it. Cause
I
And you
can't
could
believe
tell, you could tell in the voice change, but it was still good.
that makes me feel weird sometimes when the voices change of a character. You're just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Like Ash from Pokemon, like he had that voice, and then he got
Like,
older, and it just well, like later
yeah,
on they in later seasons it just sounded like different. I was like,
yeah,
it
Yeah.
sounds so weird when they change like voices. You're just kind of like, ooh,
They did that in Hey Arnold too.
yeah.
oh
Twice,
They
I
had
yeah,
think,
like
actually.
they had like 4 different voices for Hey Arnold for
Yeah.
the seasons.
Didn't sound like terribly
yeah.
different to me though. You know, they did sound different, but it wasn't like fucking like
Yeah, it wasn't
whoa
bad.
shit. Like,
Like super off.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think I was gonna say, dude, I think John Kay, like Ren and Stimpy's fucking really amazing.
The show. Like,
Yeah. Like in terms of because like I
He's so
watched like
weird.
interviews of him, you know, like where he was saying like he really abhors like using the same shot over and over. And you could see it. Like you could see like, oh shit, like when you know, I guess sometimes it takes someone like explicitly telling you like what they're going for you to like be like, holy fuck, dude, like he really is doing that. And I noticed it like every single like expression like a character has is like always different. Even if it's like a similar like you know, like
Mhm.
you're supposed to be sad. Like every time they express sadness, it's like somewhat different. Like I think it's really fucking like interesting, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I feel like that's something that I got also from because then I started watching some of the old Simpson episodes, and that's also the feeling that I got. Like a lot of these expression, a lot of these, even sometimes the way they move their mouth or like they move their head when they talk, it's different.
oh yeah. I'll do their
It's
head shapes
different.
were different. Some of
Yeah.
their colors were completely different. Fucking Smithers was black for like the first two seasons.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
like the first season, he was literally a black guy.
that's true.
it's true.
He
I didn't think
was,
about that.
huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he was
Yeah.
super dark. And then all of a sudden, like one day he was just white. I was like, oh shit, all right. And I think it was a different voice too.
Hmm.
There
It
was
was a
different
different
people with a
voice,
little voice
and then
different.
later they made him gay.
Oh, really?
Oh, Smithers, yeah, that like developed over time.
Does
Yeah, dude,
Smithers kick ass?
he's like in love with Mr. Burns.
Dude, that one episode when he opens up his fucking laptop and then it's like Mr. Burns, he's like, "Hello,
Oh
Smithers,
yeah,
you really
yeah.
know how to turn me on."
Turn me on.
And then
You should
like
probably
he's
ignore that.
behind him, and he's like, "You should probably ignore that." Like,
Is
Dude.
Smithers like a karate genius or some shit? Because I seem to remember that. Doesn't he like kick ass a little bit?
I think he's like low key he was a badass in a couple episodes,
Alright.
but I think he's just kind of
I
just weird.
actually am not super versed in The Simpsons.
I'm versed in like the older shit, the olden days, the golden days of The Simpsons. But like anything after,
There's just no
The golden days.
there's very I feel like there's like especially like the older episodes there was very little continuity between episodes too. Like every episode was something different and characters
yeah,
had specific traits.
Bart and Lisa have been in the
That
second grade
episode.
for 30 years.
Yeah. Like for some of the like I feel like some of my favorite episodes are the Halloween specials.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yes, those are the
Like
best ones, I think. Yeah.
when they do the whole Harry Potter
Oh,
story.
I
That
did.
You guys
frog
remember
that
that?
Bart gets to kill
Yes,
me.
G,
Yeah.
they fucking Mr. Burns is Voldemort and Mr. Smithers is the snake.
Yeah, yeah. They always like
But it
find
was
ways
so
to put
funny,
their
G.
characters like in
Yeah.
the right
Like
sub characters.
they had characters that were so specific that they could just handpick and like make them play like these other characters from like movies or like shit like that.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's what I feel like that's why every single character in The Simpsons it's very recognizable. You know?
for sure.
Like they have like their own personality and their own everything. And you see them constantly too. You see them constantly in every episode.
I think my favorite Halloween special is or the episode where the dolphins take over and
Oh
they
yeah,
send the
dude.
humans back
Yeah.
to the water. I just like think that fucking episode's
Yeah.
funny. I kind of feel like it's similar to the Rick and Morty episode where the dogs take over, but like they become enslaved at the end, and it's almost like but it's like the alien like or no, oh that was a different one when the aliens take over, but you know what I mean. Fuck, that's a good episode too.
Do you guys remember that episode from Family Guy that Stewie and Brian are jumping through dimensions and they land in a dimension where dogs are people and people are pretty much the dogs, like their pets?
Yeah.
Something like that. Gee, like that episode was fucking cool. I remember that.
I don't even remember that one.
But anyways, all right, Gene. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, I gotta get going right now, actually. But dude, thanks
No.
for
Just kidding.
on. What'd you say? No.
No.
Oh, you guys can keep.
We're staying. You're staying, and you're staying. No.
I'm paying
We
you.
had a contract.
All right, guys.
Wasn't
No,
in my
thank you for
writer.
coming on, Janelle. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I love Simpson Talk all day, every day.
Did you want to plug your thing at all?
Yeah, where can people find your artwork other than your Instagram, which we're gonna link?
Well, now right now I only have my Instagram, but I'm working on like trying to do a website and branch out more like that. It's just lazy artist a little bit, So many things going on and it's hard. But right now it's just Instagram.
And you have like a store going too, right? Like the Hot Topic thing I saw.
Yeah, but I right now since like the whole Corona thing, we're not really sure where that's going right now. So it's not like it's not a solid thing right now. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Is your guy that shop is that where you're working out of? Illusions, the ink house?
Illusions, yes, in Fullerton.
Are they closed right now? Are they open?
Right now we're open. We're taking walk-ins and appointments, but like of course taking all the safety precautions. You gotta wear masks, temperature before you walk in, and we're so
For sure. Well,
Enjoy the ride
if you
way.
guys want to get a tattoo, that's where you can go. Illusions.
come get a tattoo.
Can you
The
tattoo a
tattoo.
beard on me?
She can tattoo the rest of your
What
hair
I think you said? Yeah, I
Can you
will.
tattoo a beard on me, please? All right, sorry. That was stupid.
Another one, like a full.
Oh, this is just dirt, dude. Like,
People get it. People get it.
this is
You-
doo doo,
you
baby.
know, there's this page called Sucky Tattoos.
Oh,
You
really?
should follow this page called Sucky Tattoos.
I'm gonna do it right
you
now.
think a face tattoo is dumb? There's guys that get beards, they get like hair. It's an amazing Instagram for sure.
Tattoo?
Oh,
I'm
for
gonna
sure,
check it out right
dude.
now.
Yeah.
What is it? Dumb
Alright.
tattoos or?
It's Sucky Tattoos, and then there's
Sucky
one
Tat-
called Snake Pit. They're like the
Snake
two
Pit.
best Instagram. Best Instagram for failed tattoos. It's the best thing.
All right. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, got it.
All right.
All right, Janelle,
Nelly,
thank you so much for
appreciate
being
it.
on the show.
Thank
We
you guys for
appreciate
the
you being
talk.
here. Make sure that you guys
Appreciate
check
it.
out the description for Janelle's link to her Instagram and later her portfolio website. You said that you're working on your website?
Yes.
Yes, watch out for that later in the future. And peace out, everyone.
Goodbye, you guys.
Thank you guys. Stay safe.
All right,
you.
bye.
Have a good one.
What you cooking? Grandma's breakfast.
Mijo.